Whenever you're hanging out with friends and the subject of anime comes up in a conversation, you usually get people that either hate anime or love it. And I'm not a diehard anime fan that watches every new series that comes out or anything. And I don't go to anime conventions or keep up with what's happening in the anime scene. But I do have a favorite anime though, and it's Dragon Ball Z. But whenever I tell people that Dragon Ball Z is my all-time favorite anime, they think I'm joking. Because it's easy to look back on it and make fun of it now, but my love for it can be traced back to a specific event that happened when I was growing up. Back then, there was a Mexican network called XHGC, and they'd show a lot of anime throughout the week. So my schedule was, I'd go to school until 3 p.m., then I'd go to baseball practice until 6 p.m., and when I got home from baseball practice, I'd see what anime was playing on XHGC. And there weren't that many that I liked. A lot of them seemed to be just random stuff happening week after week. Shows like Dr. Slump or Ranma and a Half, where there was never any consequence for anyone's actions, and the only thing that changed was the situation the characters were in, and not the actual characters themselves. But this all changed when they started showing Dragon Ball Z on XHGC. Like I said, it's easy to make fun of Dragon Ball Z because it has a very straightforward approach. The heroes are usually invaded by an alien evildoer that's much more powerful than they are. A couple of characters die in the battle, and then usually the main character, Goku, beats the odds by pulling off an incredible victory in the end. But there's actual character growth going on throughout it. Vegeta, or Vegeta in Spanish, was one of the first villains, but he softens up as the series progresses. And characters get engaged, there's a secret love child, and lots of other stuff. And for my 12-year-old mind, the insurmountable odds were always exciting, the tales of sacrifice for the greater good were compelling, and at that time it was everything that the other anime shows weren't, so I was hooked. They'd air Dragon Ball Z on weekdays in the evening, so I'd watch it at home, and then the following day I'd discuss what had happened at school with 2 other dudes that were also into it. It was just 3 of us because most people had learned about it when it was already 20 episodes in, and they couldn't follow which character was which, or what was going on. We were a small but passionate group, and we all had our favorite characters and ongoing theories on where the story was going to go next. It added another element to my enjoyment of Dragon Ball Z, because I'd get excited watching it every evening, and then I'd get to relive the excitement of what had happened with the other guys. A few months later, by the time we were getting into the triple-digit episodes, things were getting so crazy on the show that we couldn't wait until the next day to talk about it. So I'd be talking on the phone with one of my friends during the first half of an episode, and then during a commercial break I'd hang up and call the other friend to talk about the crazy shit that was going on. Things had been going great for the first 3 months the show was running, until the fateful Friday of episode 120, El Final de Freezer. I'm gonna spoil what happens, so if you care about that sort of stuff, you should stop watching right now. So in a nutshell, what had happened before this episode was that Goku had beaten this powerful alien being called Frieza, or Freezer in Spanish. They were fighting on a planet called Namek, and the whole planet exploded. But Freezer can survive in space, and Goku can't. So the last we knew of Freezer was that he'd gotten his arm cut off, he'd been split in half, and he'd been engulfed in the planet's explosion. And Goku was dead, as far as we knew. But it turns out that Freezer survived, and he's come to Earth to destroy everyone, and he's all mechanical and cyborgy. So just when you think the Earth is doomed, this mysterious dude with a cool sword shows up out of nowhere. So episode 120, El Final de Freezer. After some posturing from Freezer and the mysterious swordsman, Freezer starts shooting blasts at him and starts laughing and says he's the best. But the mysterious guy survives the blasts and Freezer's speechless. And then the guy teleports above Freezer with his cool sword out and he slices Freezer in half. And it's one of the most awesome moments in the show. And I've been talking with my friend over the phone while it's happening and we're going crazy. So the show ends on a cliffhanger and we're wondering who this swordsman is. And we're doubtful Freezer is actually dead. And we have tons and tons of questions. So me and the other 2 guys talk about it at school on Monday. And we can't wait for what's gonna happen. Who's this cool dude with the sword? It took Goku all of his strength to beat Freezer. And this guy just shows up and slices him in half. His jacket said Capsule Corp on it. Maybe that's some sort of clue. By the end of the day, I'm in class and I can't stop thinking about the episode they're gonna air that night. I'm in baseball training and I'm still thinking about it. So finally training's over and I get home. I sit in front of my TV and I call up my friend and we're ecstatic. We can't contain our excitement. So the intro to the show ends and then we see that it doesn't say episode 121, it says episode 1. But we both laugh it off and wonder what's going on. The episode starts on a clear, peaceful day. There's no cool, mysterious swordsman, and there's no Freezer split in half. We realize it actually is the first episode of the series, and a couple of minutes into it, my friend quietly tells me that he has to go do homework. And I don't say anything, I just hang up. I stare in disbelief at the first episode playing out, and I get a call from my other friend and he asks me what the hell's going on, and he's mad. And that makes me mad, so I start yelling that I don't know, and he starts yelling at me, and we both take our anger out on each other over the phone. So I hang up and I go to my room and I get angry at life in my bed. So that was on Monday. On Tuesday, we're at school and we're all in denial. There's no way they rebooted it. It must have been a glitch. I'm sure someone messed up and put in the wrong tape at the TV station. I'm sure we'll find out who the mysterious swordsman is tonight, and we'll put all of this behind us. So I get home that day and I sit in front of the TV. I call my friend up and we're both half excited and half dreading what's gonna happen. It'll be 121, I know it. They're a big station though. I bet they don't even care about their viewers. So the intro plays and it says episode 2. And I hear my friend start to yell, but his scream gets cut off as he slams the phone down. I turn the TV off and go into bed, hating my goddamn life. On Wednesday, we all get angry. How could they have messed up twice? Aren't they getting paid for this sort of stuff? Don't they know this was the worst possible moment to put in the wrong tape again? And later that evening, episode 3 goes on the air. On Thursday, we start bargaining. If only we didn't have to depend on Mexican TV stations to watch Dragon Ball Z. If a local TV station picks it up from episode 121, I swear I'm gonna do all my homework before every episode airs. If they show 121 tonight, I'm gonna get straight A's in all my classes. Episode 4 airs later that evening. So Friday comes around and we finally reach the acceptance stage. Now that it's been confirmed there's been a reboot, we figure we might as well make the most of it. We see it as an opportunity to get other people on board. So we tell all the other guys in our class what happened. We summarize the events of the first 4 episodes for them, and with them having been caught up with the story, our group of 3 grew to a group of 10 people watching it. So a week goes by and we're watching it with all the other people, and now it's extra cool because we get to relive our excitement through the reactions of the first timers. And the original 3 viewers are seen as these all-knowing masters because we know what's gonna happen and it gives us this weird sort of power. So I'm starting to feel that the reboot was a good thing because now I'm enjoying watching Dragon Ball Z more than I did the first time. So another 3 months go by and it's a Friday. Episode 120 airs again and the mysterious swordsman cuts Freezer in half. So on Monday, me and the other original 2 dudes are getting pats on the back for sticking with the show. We're being thanked by the newcomers for having convinced them to get on board. We feel redeemed and everything's awesome. So that evening, I get home and I sit in front of the TV. I call my friend and we get excited that we're finally going to see what happens. All that suffering, all the waiting that we had to do, it'll all be behind us as soon as we see what happens tonight. So the intro ends and there we see it. Episode 1. A tortured scream gets cut off by the slamming of a phone and I fucking go apeshit. I hurl the TV remote and then I grab one of the couch cushions and I start biting into it. The episode starts on a clear, peaceful day and I'm punching everything and I hate my goddamn fucking life. So that Monday at school, there's 7 people going through the denial stage and 3 people are off to the side, barely hanging on and depressed as fuck. So after Dragon Ball Z had been rebooted twice on the same episode, everybody bailed on it. Another 3 months passed and I was still bitter about it, but the other original 2 guys and I had a meeting, and we all agreed that we'd watch it together to see if we could get some closure and end this rebooting nightmare. So that night, we're sitting together at a friend's house, we turn the TV on, and the intro starts playing. And we've all agreed that if they show episode 1 again, we're all gonna beat each other up for being so fucking stupid to think it wasn't gonna happen again. So we hold our breath as the intro ends, and there we finally see it, episode 121. We're all still quiet though, and the most we can do is give ourselves silent thumbs up as the episode's playing. It's only until they go to the first commercial break that we jump up and celebrate, finally putting the terrible reboots behind us. At last, the 3 of us finally got to find out what happened after 6 months of torture, and it was pretty cool. We also got lucky because XHGC showed the rest of the episodes until the end without rebooting again. A weird side effect to the DBZ rebooting is that now I've become way too tolerant when it comes to anime. Someone tells me Death Note is the best thing ever, so I'm like, cool, I'll watch it. So I'm watching it, and if you've seen it, you know the moment I'm talking about midway through it. Well, something happens that I won't spoil, but while everyone else hates it and is outraged by it, I'm just like, fuck it, at least it didn't reboot twice on me. Or I watch the new Evangelion movies and they make no fucking sense, but fuck it, no double reboot, no problem. That part in Honey and Clover with the sandwiches and the crying, totally cool with it, just had to watch it once. With manga, I've been waiting for a new Berserk chapter to come out for the last 3 years and I don't care. The Gantz manga ended in the clunkiest, most horrible example of bad writing I've ever seen, but fuck it, only had to read it once. Every lackluster or anime, every bit of clunky writing and characters behaving in dumb ways just to move the story along. I don't care. Every new anime I watch that's shitty is like a girlfriend that spends all day insulting me and trying to bring my spirits down. But she doesn't know the horrors I've seen. Because Dragon Ball Z was like having a girlfriend that stabbed me in the kidneys when I was sleeping. From now until the day I die, there will never be anything else I'd put up with watching 3 times just to see how it ends. And that's why Dragon Ball Z, whether I like it or not, will forever be my favorite anime.